Alright, what up guys? Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be working on the 1995 Mustang. We're going to be switching it up. Today we're going to be doing shocks on it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, this is it right here. So we're going to go ahead and put shocks on it. By the way, new update. They did end up getting it back from the shop after the insurance took care of it. This is the bumper, which they matched it really well. Probably can get the formula from them to be able to fix it, or if I need to, if fix any imperfections, I can use that same thing. So we're going to go ahead and get started on it. First, we got to go ahead and remove some panel pieces in the trunk, and then we can get into it. Let's go. Alright, so first we'll start off by getting everything out of the trunk. This is really just my essentials, so I kind of keep this around, I always kept this around in a lot of my cars just in case, we break down or anything like that. So take this out, and then I'll take my jack and my jump starting cables. Alright, and then they said to get a pry tool for this job, so I'll go ahead and get a pry tool. And you're supposed to just, in a second I'll show you, you're supposed to get these clips right here. Here, give me one second, I'll show you. Alright, so this will be the kind of the tools right here, or this will be the clips that we're supposed to get off first. And I'll go ahead and put in a light in here for y'all as well, but we're going to go ahead and take those off. And there's also clips right here we go ahead and take off, and this whole thing will come out. Alright, I got a light in here so y'all can see a little better. So he said just come right here and just kind of pry in this, obviously. Which I don't want to break these because these are factory, so I'm a little concerned, but we'll figure it out. Okay, there's one. There's two. There's three. And four. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get into these other ones. I think that I'll just be able to use the Phillips, but let's go ahead and see. Alright, and then now let's go ahead and see. It said we should just be able to use these. Yep, just like that. Here we go, there's one, and then now let's get to the other one. Oh, there actually is no other one on this side. Alright, well now we'll go ahead and take this off, and then we should be able to place it outside and continue on. Alright, and that's this piece right here. So now we're going to go ahead and try to remove this right here. I'm going to try and move this over to the side, and this should come out as well. Now I'm a little confused on how this comes out. Hopefully it's just a screw on, which it looks like it is. And we'll be able to get back behind there. Yep, there we go. Alright, and then now we'll be able to kind of take this off and this as well. Alright, now let's see how easy it is to move this out. Now again, y'all going through this with me. It's my first time ever doing shocks on this car. So this is kind of a trial and error here. But we'll go ahead and remove this. I think it's pretty simple, they said. It should be just pretty much the same as the other trim. Well, it does look like there is a clip up there. So as y'all can see up there, it looks like I'm going to have to remove that clip. And then I think after that, we are all good. Alright, so it looks like this is pretty simple. It looks like all I have to do is grab these needle nose right here and just kind of wiggle this out. I may be wrong though, but that's just what I'm thinking right now. Okay. I could most definitely be wrong here. Looks like I might have to look up a video on that one. Give us 1 second. Alright, so I did figure out it is a clip, if you can see right there. Now, what I had to do is kind of press down on that clip, or press out on that clip, while I was taking the actual siding off, because it looks like that clip does come out, but I couldn't figure out a way to do it. But it looks like if you can hold that or extend it out while you're moving the trim, it'll kind of go off of it, and you can kind of pull it out. So now here's the shock right here, and then we'll go ahead and loosen that bolt up, and then we'll put it up on the lift, and then we'll do the same to our side, kind of just go past that for y'all. All right, and now on to this side. So I just kind of grabbed this right here, if you could see. Hold on. Kind of just want to slide it down, or this one came straight out actually. So yes, they do come out, and then there's one right there. So now I will go ahead and be able to slide all of this right out of here. Alright, there we go. And then here we are with our shock right there. So these are both of them right here, both panels. Now we got the shock. Now we'll go ahead and loosen up both of these bolts. Alright, and for the first bolt, and this may not even work. There we go. There's the first bolt out. And then as you can see, this is it right here. And then now we'll go on to this side as well. Alright, and there's the second one. So now that's both shocks out, or both shocks loosened. Now we'll go ahead and put it up on the lift. Alright, and then now here are the bolts we're taking off. So you got to hold it on one side and then use your impact on the other. So that's what we'll have to do on that, and same on this side as well. So we'll go ahead and get into that. It won't be too long, should be pretty quick. So let's go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot a little WD-40 on both of them, just to be on the safe side. This is, again, a stock car, so a lot of this stuff is factory bolts. So there's no telling, you know, how stock they're going to be, or, you know, how much they're going to take. So I'll let that sit for a second, and then we'll go ahead and hit in with it. Now, I do believe this is an 18mm, which it is. So it's an 18 right here and a 15 on the front. And then you go ahead and I will hold it right here while I'm using the impact to shoot it off on the other side. So we'll go ahead and show that whenever we're done letting these soak. Alright, so now that we let it soak, now let's go ahead and get into it. We might need impact for this one. Alright, let's go ahead and try again. Alright, so got the bolt off, or got the nut off. Now we'll go ahead and slide this pin through. And it should be able to just come right out now. So, this is the factory shock. Obviously, that's a pretty simple process. This is out. Now we'll go ahead and do it to the other side. And on to the other side. So we'll go ahead and put our 18 right here. Go ahead and get the impact right here. Now you do have to kind of play with this because your sway bar is right there, or your back end link, so let's see what we can do. Yeah, we'll have to try and find a better way to get to that. Might need an extension, and we'll go ahead and get back into the video. Alright, so instead we went with a wobble joint. Now we'll see if we can get it. This one may be a little stuck in there. We'll have to see how we can figure this out. Okay, yeah, this one ain't trying to move. We have to find out a different way. Alright, my weapon of choice was a breaker bar. So, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Now, it does look like it's starting to move now. Why? I have no idea. But it should be loose enough for me to now use impact. You know, I'm starting to believe maybe the battery's just dead on my impact, but whatever. Alright, so there's the nut for it, and then now we'll go ahead and get this bolt out. And then boom. Here's our second stock shock. And then now we'll go ahead and unbox the other ones. Alright, here are the shocks. Now I decided to go with the SR Performance shocks. They're a little more affordable for me. And I already just installed the front struts from SR Performance on this car. So, you know, I just kind of want to see how it does. Again, it's a little more affordable for me. So we'll go ahead and use these. These are new ones. They're not too much different. These have a decal. That's essentially it. But the insides of them are supposed to be a lot different and have a lot different dampening on them. So let's go ahead and get into it. It should be a pretty simple process as well. Alright, here it is right here. And on these, they say that they have two ends. So this is, the top end is the flat. So it says to go flat right here. And then you put your first washer on. Or not washer, but bushing. And then now, these will go up top. All these, this is the nut. Or this is the washer, this is the nut. And bushing all right here. Sorry, I can't really see. But now we'll go ahead and put this up there. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of loop these up as well. So I don't have any problems in the end. So let's go ahead and loop these up, and then I'll go ahead and start with putting them in. Alright, now I got these looped up. Now we'll go ahead and start with getting it inside the brace itself. This should be, again, a pretty straightforward process. So I'll go ahead and shoot for the hole first, which I am on, and then I'll go ahead and throw this in there. And then I'll go ahead and just shoot this straight through. So I'll go try my best to get this bolt to go through. Boom, there we go. And then I'll just hand tighten it as much as I can. So there's one shock. Now we'll go on to the other side. Alright, and then here's for the other side. Which they do say to put these bolt heads pointed towards the wheel, but in the video, but I'm gonna go with what was stock, to be honest, on the car from Ford, which is having the bolt going this way. So I'll go ahead and shoot this back up. And push that right through there. And then go ahead and screw on the nut as much as I can. Boom. And then now I should be able to use my impact and my wrench to kind of, you know, get the rest of this on. So let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and tighten it down. Alright, they do say that you need to torque these down to around 70-ish, which we'll go ahead and do in a second. But there's one shock on. Now we'll go ahead and get on to this side as well. Alright, now go ahead and grab the wobble extension. All right, there we go. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing. All right, and then now I'll get my torque wrench and we'll go ahead and torque these down to probably 70. All right, and here is the torque wrench. And this should be pretty simple. Okay, we're good on this side. Now let's go to the next. Okay. Oh, I'm done. It's spinning. Okay, we're good on this side. So that's 70 torque on both of them. Now we'll go ahead and go up to the top, and then we'll go ahead and do the same thing. Or not same thing, but I'll go ahead and show you all the order it goes in as well. Alright, and before we do that, I want to go ahead and show y'all. This is essentially it. Not much different about it, but the ride should be a lot different in the end. But it's a pretty simple process. Just shot it right up there, and I should be pretty easy to just get up there and kind of, you know, go ahead and tighten those bolts down. It won't be anything kind of crazy, but that's both of them in. Now I'll go ahead and get it off the lift, and we'll go ahead and be able to install those. All right, so I should be able to show you a pretty simple process now. So all it is this now washer goes on, or bushing, and then now this goes on top, and then we use our locking nut right here. Pretty simple process on this side. It'll be the same thing on the other side. So I'll go ahead and show you all that as well. So essentially, same thing, bushing, washer, and then screw on the nut. So I do think this is a different size nut, so we'll go ahead and figure that out, but then all we have to do is tighten it down. Alright, and now we'll go ahead and do the same thing. We'll just tighten these down real quick. Okay. May not even be able to get onto it. Not even the right size. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and tighten it down. Alright, so it turns out they will tell you a couple of things. So this is, by the way, a 17 millimeter, and you have to tighten this down while holding this stud until it reaches the bottom or connects with the washer so you can tighten it up. If you don't do that, then obviously you cannot tighten it up from the top. It'll just spin. So I'll go ahead and tighten this all the way up right here. Alright, and then now we'll try it. If this does not work, then that means that we are going to have to tighten it all the way down with just that. So let's go ahead and try. Yeah, so it looks like that we're going to have to tighten it all the way down with this. You have to hold this up here and just continue to tighten it all the way down with a ratcheting wrench. Alright, so that side already all done. All I did was use this set right here and kind of grab the top of it, and then I used a ratcheting wrench and got it all the way down to you know, it was very tight. So now we'll go ahead and start on this side. This should be a lot easier since I kind of figured it out. Alright, and so we'll go ahead and start on it. So let's grab the top right, or actually no, need to put this down first, and I'll go ahead and grab the top here and just kind of tighten it down the best I can until I can get that other one on it. Alright, and now it's high enough that I should be able to grab this right here and be able to kind of grab onto it. And what I'm going to do is kind of push this towards here so that it's rubbing up against there. And I did not think about that. Why do I not have my freaking thing on? Okay, and then now I'll go ahead and do it. So it's wrapped onto it now. So now every time it'll just hit this metal piece right here, or wheel well. I'll go ahead and move y'all right there. And now just hold it right on that spot. Alright, and then I'll have to reset. I guess the counter decided to come off right there. I'll go ahead and put it back over here. And now this is loosened up. And I didn't put my thing under there again. Alright, and then we can continue to go. Alright. Oh god. And that should be good. That's both of them right there. And then those are done. So now let's go ahead and put back on the trim, and then we should be done completely. So it should be a pretty simple process here. Kind of just go underneath like this. Actually, I say simple. I feel like this is actually going to be difficult. But go ahead and do that. Get all your screws in. Now go ahead and keep pushing this. Now, we did have this in the beginning, so I am going to end up using this right here. Again, these clips, obviously for factory, so they're going to work better in the end. Now, I'm just not quite sure which way goes on first, so. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and kind of try to pull this a little out. You won't be able to see for a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this and kind of push it in the right. Actually, no, that's even worse. There we go. So yeah, just kind of pop it in there already. So you go ahead and just kind of put it on this piece right here, this trim, and go ahead and, you know, kind of push it in there as best you can and kind of tilt it towards the metal. So now we'll go ahead and do the same thing to this side. All right, there's both of them in, and then now we'll kind of do this trim right here. If you can see, go ahead and move you back, and we'll do this whole trim right here. Alright, cool. And make sure you also tuck these underneath your weather stripping. It is how they come from factory, so, and it kind of acts as like something that holds it, kind of. So you definitely want to make sure you get underneath there again, as best you can at least. Alright, and then here's a screw right here. We'll go ahead and find our hole, if I can. Now, I don't quite know what's going on with this side, or why it does not want to stick down there. None of it is. Alright, I figured it out. That was the whole thing. Now, just to add this on, and then you go ahead and just grab your clips. You go ahead and line them up with your holes. Kind of just go ahead and push them in there. And boom, there's that done. Now I'll go ahead and put this net back on, and after that we should be good. So I have my screws for my net right here. It's literally just a screw on up here. Alright, now go ahead, fast forward to it. Alright, and now we're all set back up. Got my toolbox back in here, my jack, my cables, and my net as well. Everything's set back up. Looks like nothing ever happened. But now let's go ahead and see. So for the test, not much bounce. I like it, which I didn't really have before, but I could just feel that these were kind of starting to go out. But that's it for this. Now I'll go ahead and go into our outro, but you know, pretty simple process. As said, it was a pretty simple process. I am a little disappointed with the way the install went. I believe, which I did watch a video, and I do believe that obviously I got the, you know, bolt number wrong or socket number wrong, which is fine. Nothing crazy about that. I'll just find that myself. But I was a little upset with the at the top having to hold it with something instead of just being able to screw it all the way down, and that was said in the video. But it is what it is. We got it in. I do like that I have new shocks. I'm going to continue to just kind of buy little things for the car and kind of make it better over time. Again, all of this is stock, so you know, all this stuff is going to go out at some point. But that's pretty easy install for the shocks. Anybody that's, you know, confused or doesn't know how to do it, it's a pretty self-explanatory video. So I'll see you on the next one. Hope y'all like the content.